We are converting this Ford Transit L3H3 into the ultimate stealth camper. And today we are going to fully insulate this van. I'm talking Thermoliner, I'm talking Thermo Fleece. We're getting it all in there. Let me give you a quick update of where we're up to with the build. This van was an ex-electrical board workshop van. So inside it had not been particularly well looked after. It was dirty, it was oily. We paid £5,800 for this van, but before we could spend a penny on our conversion, we had a huge mechanical problem. It needed a new clutch and a new gearbox, which cost me a total of £2,600. I'm yet to receive a penny from the dealer or the warranty company. Once we had this fix done, we were ready to start on our conversion. We stripped it out, we cleaned it, we removed all of the front cab and gave that a really good clean. We rust treated the floor and gave it a fresh lick of paint. We then insulated the floor, laid down our ply and put on our flooring. Then we got our skylight installed because this is a stealth van, no windows on the sides. Next we installed our sound deadening panels all over the van to make it nice and quiet when we're driving. And finally, we installed our stealth roof rack. Not only is this going to hold our solar panels, but it also hides our skylight from being seen from the side, increasing our stealth ability, bringing this van back to life, giving it a second chance, giving it a little bit of love. So that pretty much brings you up to date. What are we doing today then? Well, rather appropriately because of the weather, we are getting the van properly insulated. Let's get on with it because I'm fucking freezing. Back on the van build, yes, we are finally cracking on with the stealth van. Been a couple of weeks since I've done any work on this because we were away in Austria, and before that I had a load of jobs to do on the VW Crafter. But we are finally back and I'm ready to get this van moving in the right direction. Is it snowing? Yes. Is it freezing? Yes. Does it matter? No. Right, let's run through our insulation for this van build because I have changed it slightly from what we did on the VW Crafter. We are using the tried and tested DODOMAT products. We used these in the last van, they were absolutely brilliant, but I have gone for slightly different products than I put in that van, and I'll explain why. We have gone for Thermo Liner Pro 10mm instead of 15mm like we put in the other van. The other van was the Arctic van. It was built for cold conditions. This van, however, is more of a British van. I can't really see me taking this to a cold country. I've gone with the 10mm Thermo Liner. I still want it to be warm. I still want it to be easy to heat. I'm also using Dodomat Thermo Fleece, 50mm thick. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to our new sponsors, Howdens Modified Van Insurance. Whether you're insuring a finished camper van or you're insuring a van conversion in progress, they will insure your van from the time you buy it to the time that it's a finished camper van. Give Howdens a call and mention a Buck Life and they will give you a great deal on your van insurance. I can personally recommend Howdens because both of our vans have always been insured with Howdens and currently are. It's absolutely chuffing freezing in here. The first thing I'm going to do is shut the doors, get a heater, get a dehumidifier and warm this little box up. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Dehumidifier, because even just in this short space of time being in here, it's already starting to condensate on the ceiling. You can see that there, look. So hopefully that will dry it out so my Thermoliner sticks. Building a van in winter is a pain in the ass. Oh, that's better. Not only does this act as insulation, it also acts as sound insulation as well. Really quietens down the whole of the van when you're on the road. I like this Thermoliner as well as the fleece because it acts like a bit of a thermal break, and I think it stops a lot of condensation happening like we're getting now. Couple of little jobs to do. Not many people will have this job, but annoyingly, didn't even see this until I bought it. They put some riv nuts in the sides. I've got a plan for the outside to waterproof them and try and conceal them. But on the inside, just to be extra safe, I'm just gonna slather a load of Sikaflex 522 on them. They're not leaking now, there's no water coming in, but I just wanna be extra careful. 522 in there, 522 around there. Soapy water, magic finger, get it in there. Job 2, I want to drill some holes here. Kitchen going along this side, electrical cupboard going along this side, but I want to be able to pass some cables up through here. Holes are drilled. There we go. Deburrer. Let's get this on. Yes, time to get this thermoliner on the walls. You can cut it with a Stanley or the best scissors in the world. I'll put an Amazon link to these in the description. And a tape measure. I bet I can do that in a wanna, that piece. I bet that will go that way. I don't know, 110. You might also want some of these rollers as well, just to like push it into the metal. Make sure it's clean and dry. I've already given this a clean with some alcohol spray, and hopefully that dehumidifier is making sure it's nice and dry in here. 114 by 73. 73. If you want to get yourself any Dodomat Thermo Liner or Fleece, I will put a discount code in the description. I don't get any kickback, but it helps you out. It's a good brand, the stuff works, and they do help us out on our builds. Test fit. Yes. Just need to peel this off. Trying to make sure it comes off in a wanna, otherwise it's a bit of a pain. Just working it in so it sticks. There we go. One down, a lot more to go. Not sure what went on it. A bit short on that corner. Marking out on the floor and using the scissors I find are just much quicker than using the Stanley knife. Right, we're just attacking the biggest and easiest panels first. Now we're on to the wheel arches, and little man has turned up to give us a little bit of a hand. I love showing him what I'm doing, and he started asking when are we going to be building a van for him. It's a few years away, but I can't wait for that build. Doing these wheel arches makes such a difference to the noise in the cab. Definitely worth taking the time to do this. A bit of foil tape to seal up the joints, and we are done. Big door panel is done and on, happy with that. Big back panel is done, happy with that. Very happy with the wheel arch. And where I've put some joins, I've used some of that silver tape just to tape up those joins. This here, as much as this is for thermal, it's also for noise. That will really reduce the amount of like stone noises coming up from the wheel arches. Right, I'm gonna attack the back doors next. Then I'm thinking these two large panels. But first I'm going to finish off the other wheel arch. It's a small job, but it's a satisfying one. That's probably why I did it first. Exactly the same as before. Now we're on to the back doors. Measured twice, cut once, and we're just filling in these large sections on the back doors. The transit doors are a little bit weird because you can't actually get as much insulation in as I could get in on the VW Crafter. Yes. God, I'm absolutely boiling in here. I feel like the insulation is immediately working. Snow is melting off the roof. Look at this condensation. That's what this Dodomat stuff will get rid of. Couple of things I've noticed about the Ford Transit compared to the Crafter. There's less pass-through holes for wires. The rear doors, annoyingly, I can't insulate that bit. Can do the bottom bits, done those. Obviously we'll have some fleece on top of that. But these bits, I don't think I'll be able to fit any insulation on there. I might order a roll of the 6mm Thermoliner and then put a bit in that recess. But on there, we've got the Van der Moon organisers going on. Come on! Yes! Big panel's done. I say that, I've still got the roof to do, making it feel more like a camper van. Just slapped this front panel in here. Pretty happy with that, actually. Now it is time to tackle the hard bit, the fiddly bit. And there's no real easy way to do this. But all these fiddly bits, getting it behind these bits of metalwork, the only real way to do this is chop it up into little bits and slot it in where you can. Good for the offcuts. So I'm just taking my offcuts and getting them in there. Don't accidentally stick a sheet of it to the floor because it does not want to come off. How annoying is that? Look at that. Roll the time lapse. As I said, these fiddly little bits, just cut it up into smaller pieces and work it in there one piece at a time, filling in all of the gaps to get as much coverage as possible. This Thermo Liner Pro really does work to be a thermal break, so the more coverage you get, the better. New day, and we got a fair amount done last night. Both of the doors are pretty much done. I just need to fill in a few little bits. And then I also got some of this done up here. Then I got called for childcare. The plan is to get this fully thermolined today and hopefully some of the fleece in as well. I've done my best to fill this in. It's really tricky, but for these little bits here, I'm just going to cut myself some little strips and stick them in. Get in there. It's quite satisfying, this to do. Then I can just use the silver tape to tape up all those joints. Oh, yes. Yes, happy with that. Little tip here, which I learnt the hard way. When you're working around the doors, either the back ones or the side door, don't put too much insulation in there. These opening mechanisms are affected. Like if stuff gets moved or pushed, then the door, basically they're on like brake cables, you know what you have on your bike. If you stuff it too full and then they can't move properly, then you can't open your door. I had it on the Crafter. Go easy on the insulation, especially when you start yamming that wool in there. We need to crack on with these bits. New box, let's attack the roof. Onto the roof, and this is where you want to take most care. Hot air rises, so we're going to lose most of our heat out of the top of the van. So the better we insulate the ceiling, the warmer the van is going to be on those cold nights. Once the Thermoliner is fully covered a section, I get some of the silver tape and just close off those joints. Let's speed this up. Yes! Woo! Making those insulation gains. 1, 2, go. This front curve panel was an absolute pain. It was a different dimension and angle on every cut, but with a little perseverance, we got there in the end. And done. Upper walls are done. Upper walls are now done. Back doors are done, top and bottom. Upper walls on this side done, upper walls there, and the entirety of the roof is done. Just got a little bit in the door to finish off, lower side of this panel, little bit of that section to finish off, and a little bit of that section to finish off. I realised that I stole a load of the Thermo Liner Pro to put on the Crafter on the wastewater tank. I haven't actually quite got enough, so I need to get one more roll. But there's a few little bits to do, but It's late and we are pretty much there. New day, and we've got most of the thermoliner in. We've just got a little bit more to do. However, I've got a few other little jobs I want to do, and I want to get on with the fleece. I want to use some of this expanding foam. Just round the floor there is a little gap that I want to fill with it. So just in these little bits here. I've also ordered some rubber bungs to seal the outside plastic trims in. So I've left this bottom bit for now, but once those rubber bungs have come, I'll bang those in and then I'll finish off with a little bit more thermoliner below those. But now we can crack on and do our second layer of insulation. Thermo Fleece, good thing about this stuff is it is recycled and it doesn't absorb water. I like to take it out of the packaging, bang it back in the box like that, and then I can just pull it out as I need it. I've also got some contact adhesive where I need it and a mask. And to cut it, obviously the best pair of scissors in the world. I'll put a link to this stuff that I use in the description. I'm gonna start on my back doors. So on these bits, I'm just gonna glue it in on top of there. On the bottom bits, just get away with gently stuffing it in. Just split apart as well. Nice. Here we go, final push into making this van a cozy little home away from home. Going in with Thermo Fleece and that contact adhesive spray, I'm just tearing it to roughly the correct length and then it kind of stretches into position. Plenty of contact adhesive spray glue on not only the fleece but also the surface that you're sticking it to. Slap it on and job's a good one. The great thing about this stuff is you can just yam it into little nooks and crannies which otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to get any insulation in. When it comes to the smaller panels and smaller areas that you need to stuff that insulation, I generally don't really use very much adhesive whatsoever. I just kind of push it into position and it holds itself there. Plenty of glue on the pieces going onto the door. That door is going to be moving back and forth, slamming shut, and we don't want the insulation to drop or to move behind the panel once it's on there. Don't pack any of the insulation in too tight because the insulation works by actually trapping small amounts of air. So if you pack it in too tight, it can't hold that air there and it won't keep the place warm. Yes! Oh, it smells. Let's open this side door. Insulation is done. Ish. I have fleeced full back doors all along the top there. I've got a little something I want to work on there, so I've left that for now. Top of the doors and top of the side panels, and then again all of that has been fleeced. Not doing the bottom sections yet as I've still got a bit of thermolining to do down there. I'm going to leave the roof for now because I just don't really want it falling down. But the bulk of the insulation is now done and the rest can be finished as we close sections off. For example, all up here, this will want putting some in there, but for now, I'll just leave it because I might want to pass some cables through there. It's the same with down these sections. I will fill those with some of the fleece, but for now it's okay. All of these beams and inside here I'll fully fill with fleece. This is all now fully insulated as well. There's a good lesson here that I learnt last time, which was I built my kitchen, then tried to cover that door. So this time, one of the first jobs I'm going to do is clad that door before we put anything, any cupboards down this side. But that is the bulk of it done. I'm happy with that, well happy. I tell you what, the difference in the temperature in here, just from this little 2 kilowatt storage heater, the difference in the speed that it heats up in here is insane. It's absolutely roasting in here now. I feel like I've got it in my mouth. Yeah. If you want to grab yourself any DODOMAT insulation, I will put a discount code and a link in the description. I don't get any kickback from it, but hopefully it helps you guys out. And I only like to recommend products that I genuinely like and I genuinely use. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Click here if you want to see another build video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.